Good morning, everybody. I am so excited to be back here in Sacramento, California. It is a joy, a blessing for me. I'm honored that Vivek has bestowed this opportunity on me to lead this franchise moving forward because the goal here is to build a sustainable winner. I want to thank Vivek for that. I also want to recognize my lovely wife sitting in the front, Kimberly Perry. We're going on 39 years of marriage. I'm going to try to keep it together for you here when I talk about that. But like the young people say, she's been my ride and die the whole time. We met at a basketball camp back when we were 13 years old. So our life has been about basketball. And she's been every step of the way with me on this basketball journey. And we're so excited to be here and be a part of this community. And we want to make Sacramento Kings Nation very proud. So with that being said, I'm here, ready to get to work. I'm going to open it up to questions from you guys.
Hey, Scott. James Ham, ESPN 1320.
I remember you, James. Exactly.
Nice
How
to see
doing?
you.
Exactly.
Nice to see you.
Good to see you too.
Look, I think you've got a lot of orders of business here that you've got to take care of, but the first one is going to be the coaching situation. Do you have any idea what you're going to do with the coaching situation, whether it's Doug or you're going to open up to a full-fledged coaching search?
Well, you're looking at a guy who's a veteran of so many coaching searches. I can't even can't even count them right now. But what I can tell you is I've spent time with Doug Christie already. I first met Doug Christie when he was a player at Toronto. So I admired him as a player, his career. I've watched him this year from afar in terms of his ability to have a presence on the court. I think he's made a connection with players. We've had a few conversations up to this point. He was one of the first people I met with yesterday when I got into town. So I've only been here a little longer than 24 hours. With that said, my phone has incessantly rang for interest in this job. So I'm going to have a few more conversations in and around about this job. And hopefully I can come to some sort of resolution within the next week or so in terms of having a decision or announcement to inform everybody of.
Just want to know.
I get your name, sir.
Sorry,
Yeah,
yeah, Tony O'Ray Harvey. Please call me Tony.
Call you
NBC
Tony?
Sports News, yes.
Tony.
Tony,
Exactly, Tony.
You
Okay,
got it,
all
Scott.
right.
Right on. So you're not naming Doug as your head coach right now. That's what you're basically saying. You want to
No.
open up your option. Okay. My next question was the departure of Monty McNair was, so urgent after the game last week. Just want to know when the discussions between you and the brass, Vivek, whatever, to take up this position because everything just happened so fast.
Well, here's what I can tell you. 8 years ago, I had a 3-month interview here with the Sacramento Kings. And from that point forward, that 3 months allowed me and Vivek to establish a relationship that was built on respect and understanding. We learned each other's work styles, values, all the things that are important. And we maintained a relationship when I left for the New York Knicks. And we kept in contact throughout. So once the decision was made by the Kings organization to move forward and make a change with that position, things can come together quickly then because both sides know one another. You know what you're getting. They know what they're getting with me. They're getting a proven leader, someone who's done this job before at a high level. And then I also understand and know the environment of the Sacramento Kings. And we have a shared vision. And again, that shared vision and mandate is to build a platform that's going to offer sustainable success and winning for this organization that this community richly deserves.
Hey, Scott. Brendan Nunez, Sacramento Sports.
Okay.
Nice to meet you. Obviously, a lot of talent on this roster, but what do you make of how they fit as a cohesive group? And do you have an idea yet of an ideal identity that you would have for this team?
Great question. Look, I'm just learning this roster. Again, I've watched them from afar. There's some talent here. There's an obvious need. I think everybody in this room probably would agree to it, that there's not a true point guard on the roster. Also, as I assess it from afar, I think we need to add more length and athleticism to this group to enhance some of the talent that's here. So that's, from that standpoint, that's kind of what I'm looking at doing right now. And the second part of your question was the identity. Any successful pro sports organization, or any company for that matter, has to have an identity. And that's one thing that I don't see here yet, but that's what I'm all about, is establishing an identity. What does it mean to be a Sacramento Kings player? To play here, we're going to require toughness. We want a defensive orientation. We got to play extremely hard, and we got to play together on the offensive end. Share the game is what I like to say. We got to be professional. We got to be disciplined, and we got to have accountability. And so if you fit that profile, you'll see guys wearing that Kings jersey. If not, then we'll figure out how to get guys in here that do. And a line that you may hear me say, and you may have heard this before, I am looking for volunteers to that, not hostages.
Hi, Scott. Tristy Rodriguez, NBC Sports, California, over here.
Okay.
Welcome back to Sacramento. One of the biggest issues that this roster's had is, I think you just mentioned it, the length, the athleticism. Keegan Murray was just here a few days ago talking about how he doesn't really like to guard the five on a nightly basis. How do you, I guess, just plan to address that to help Keegan out a little bit?
Look, first of all, the one thing I want all the players here to do, I want to buy each player a mirror, because at first we're going to look at ourselves. And that starts with me each and every day. And so there's going to be an accountability first and foremost, that am I doing everything as an individual to make this team successful? And then whoever we have in here to coach, it's going to be their job, and I'm going to be behind the scenes helping to make sure that we maximize what they can do on the court. So Keegan is still a young player. I'm very confident in what he can be. I've spoken to him like I've spoken to all the players already, because that was one of the most important things for me to do that. And I think he'll be just fine, but he knows he's got to come in here and work, earn everything he gets. And the teams that I've been a part of, and I spent a long time with the Detroit Pistons, as you well know, and that team was built on accountability, was built on toughness, was built on defense, and was built on a team-first attitude. So when players come in this building, and when staff come in this building, starting with me, when I get out of my car and they get out of their cars, we're leaving our personal agendas and egos inside those cars. When you come inside, it's about the collective.
Scott, Jay Geaton from CBS Sacramento.
Where
Right-
am I?
right over
Oh,
there.
Jay, okay, all right, okay.
Welcome back.
Thank you so much.
This season has been a roller coaster season for the organization. A lot has happened with coaching, players, et cetera, et cetera. I think the sentiment out of player exit interviews was the sense of wanting consistency within the organization. What consistency can you bring to the organization, and what is your message to the players that have said that and the fan base that's looking forward as well?
Absolutely. Look, again, to be successful, you have to have that consistency and stability. If people that know me and know me well and know my experiences know that I'm all about stability. Even in the short time that I was here in Sacramento 8 years ago, it was almost 8 years ago to the day, ironically, in that short of time, we were starting to formulate some of that stability in terms of uh, the people we were able to draft and what we were able to do in free agency, starting to set that culture. So I'm extremely confident in not only my abilities, but the people that we're going to have around us helping that. We all are going to be rowing the same direction in the boat. We can't have silos. We can't have individual genders. Like I said, it's all about the collective, and it's about being the Kings. I don't want any of the credit. I want all of the people around me to get the credit. I'm going to lead that. That's what, to me, great leadership is being a servant leader, and that I'm going to provide that here. And you guys will find this in me. I'm going to be heavily engaged in a lot of things around here to help make this organization, this team, one that can be proud, everybody can be proud of, and not only here but Kings fans globally. Because when we come to work every day, I want people coming in to work with a positive, winning mindset every single day. That's what it's all about.
Hi, Scott. Jason Anderson with the Sacramento Bee. Nice
Hey,
to see you.
Good
Welcome.
to see you, Jason.
Yeah, welcome back.
Thank you.
To the question about, consistency and stability, there's, dysfunction's been kind of a dirty word around here. And I just wonder, with your history of relationships and your connections around the league, like, how do you begin to overcome that? And what is the way forward in terms of creating a unified vision and direction?
Great question. Look, I've been around, as you mentioned, this league a long time, and one of the things that made me feel great when this all unfolded and it was announced that I was coming here, I heard from so many players that I have worked with in the NBA during my 25-year past. I mean, I heard from all the guys from the '04 Pistons championship team. Hear from a lot of the guys from the Knicks that I work with, guys from Orlando that I work with, even players that I coached in college. I heard from just about every agent in the business. So glad to have you back involved in being here, because we got tired of seeing you on television on ESPN. You know, you fit better on this side. But so I am very comfortable and confident that it's the people that end up making the situation. And I'm going to lead that charge to make sure that we have the necessary credibility that we can be at the table to attract good talent here to the Sacramento Kings organization. We're going to be very prudent and opportunistic in how we build out this roster, whether it be through the draft, free agency, or trades.
Hey, Scott. Jeremiah Solomson here, Sports Area Service. Welcome back to Sacramento. I know you just got here, obviously, but when you look at this roster from afar, I'm sure you've been, keeping up with it. Do you see more of tweaks you want to make, or do you see kind of a large overhaul coming for you?
I just mentioned there, I'm going to be opportunistic and prudent in doing this. I'm learning all the players just like they're getting to learn me, and I'm going to spend a lot of time with a number of them this summer, and just make sure that we're equally aligned about where we're headed, because I'm going to be steadfast in my resolve in getting to where we need to get. And again, I want to make sure that they're in tune and in line, and that they want to be on board with that. So that's what I would tell you right now. There's some good talent here. I've had an excellent reception from all the players thus far. I've talked to every single one of them, and they all seem very positive and ready to go. They like the community here. Obviously, I'm sure there was frustration that the season ended the way it did, but I'd be disappointed if they weren't frustrated. That's part of it.
Hey, Scott. Deuce Mason.
Hey, Deuce. How you
Good to see
doing? Good to see you.
What motivated you to take this job? Why this challenge at this time of your career?
That's been my life. I've loved taking on challenges, and if you followed my career, a lot of the organizations that I work with, when we first came in, they were struggling or non-playoff teams, whatever you want to call them. But then by the time I left, we left, the organizations were better. I enjoyed that. I enjoy challenges. I don't run from problems, I run to them. And I think that's a necessary quality that you got to have when you come in to build a situation like this. And I embrace it. And I think there's a lot of good people here within the organization. I think there's a lot of good people in this community. I understand a frustrated fan base. I faced that going into New York City, quite frankly, when I got there, and enjoyed every minute of that and being part of that turnaround there. So that's why I'm so confident in it. And again, my experience, my know-how, confidence in it, that we can do it. I've been there, done that. Feel really good about having the chance to do that here.
Hey, Scott, right over here.
Okay, all right.
Welcome to Sacramento.
Okay, all right.
Again, shall I
Okay,
say.
good, exactly.
And
Hey, I'm gonna be here longer than 3 months this time. I can't say that. Okay, exactly.
We got that on the record.
You got that on the record. Okay, all right, good.
Congratulations, too, on 39 years of marriage. Incredible.
Thank you very much.
So,
You should congratulate her more than me. Exactly.
congratulations.
Good, exactly.
Putting up with him for 39
Yeah,
years.
exactly.
So my question to you, you said earlier, you used this word sustainability.
Mm-hmm.
As you are, well, oh yeah, I didn't even introduce myself. I'm Kevin John from ABC 10.
Okay, all right, okay.
Okay.
We got that out the way. All right, go ahead.
One of the things that you said earlier, like I said, was sustainability.
Mhm.
You are well aware that this franchise has not been able to sustain success over the last 16, 17 years, with the exception of 2023.
Mm-hmm.
And it has been a long road to get back to that area.
Mm-hmm.
With Deuce's last question, you had talked about you being confident
Mm-hmm.
that you can do that.
Mhm.
So my question to you is, what gives you the confidence that you can right the ship, and also to a fan base that is desperate for winning, one of the greatest loyal fan bases in the NBA?
Mhm.
What can you say to them to reassure them that we are on the right track and you are confident you can get this job done?
A few things. One, in my conversations with Vivek, it's clear what the mandate was. He wants me to come in here and lead this charge, bring my expertise to this building, to this organization, to build that sustainable platform. And he has pledged his support and his resources to be able to do that. Okay, that's number one. Number two, when you've been around as long as I have been around, you know things can change. So I understand, like you said, the frustration of the fan base because you haven't won that much in the past, what you said, 16, 17 years. But with the right energy, with the right focus, with the right perseverance, I've seen things turn around. I've been a part of it, you know. Back when I was in Detroit, now obviously the Bad Boys were good in the late 80s, and it was a great team, and then they went through a little bit of law. It might not have been as long as the one here in Sacramento, but we rolled up our sleeves. We didn't pay attention to the noise that you can't build a sustainable winner in a small market team, cold city like Detroit. We rolled up our sleeves. We ended up going to 6 straight conference finals and won a world championship while we were there. So anything is possible and anything is doable. And I am the eternal optimist, positive person. I know this league. I've been at it a long time, and I just feel really comfortable. It's a good time, a good place to make that, to start on that ascension and build that sustainability. So Will there be bumps along the road to get there? I'm sure. That's life. That's adversity. But like I said earlier, we're not going to run away from the problems. We're going to run to them.
So Scott, Sean Cunningham.
Yeah.
Just when you look at, you mentioned people thrilled to have you back and out of the analyst booth. There's obviously, fans of
And the podcast, where I do. Don't forget that.
Oh, I'm not.
Don't forget my podcast people at the Hoop Genius. Exactly, that worked.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that one because there was a clip, obviously, that might haunt you as you come over here.
I knew when you come.
Yeah. Talking about Zach.
Look, anything I say, I'm not worried about it haunting me. But go ahead.
For sure. No,
exactly.
Just to that point, like, does that create an awkward moment? I mean, obviously, you're always such a straight shooter, and I just now hear Zach LaVine is on your roster, and imagine you've had a chance to speak with him.
Absolutely, I've had a chance to speak with Zach. I knew Zach a little bit well before I took this job. When he was a young player at UCLA when he was coming out, I obviously scouted him and watched him a lot. Terrific talent, athletic, nearly a career 40% three-point shooter. And he and I, like I said, we had a good conversation. It's my job now to help put pieces around him and others to enhance his ability to start winning. And that is what you're getting at with the comment that I made, because it was a reflection on him not having won as much. It's nothing personal with me. And the great thing, what I enjoy with my relationship with all players, and that's why so many of them reached out to me, because they know, okay, I might not always agree with him, but he's going to shoot me straight. And they know that I'm going to provide radical candor surrounded by radical love. They know it's coming from a good place.
Hi, Scott. Michelle Dapper with KCRA back here.
Hey,
welcome
Michelle,
back to
how are you?
Sacramento.
Thank you so much.
You mentioned that you have talked to the players, and during the exit interviews with the players, several of them expressed their need, want, concerns with the front office. Just curious if you could share maybe some of the things that you've maybe reassured the players on how you plan to turn this around and move forward.
A number of them obviously are familiar with my journey and my path, so I think that breeds some confidence. But in the conversations, just like we're having here right now, it's very clear what my vision is and what I'm about, what I stand for. The reception has been great from those guys, and I think they're ready to get on board. Players, sometimes a misconception is that players don't want real, true accountability. But they really do. The key is you've got to be consistent with it. It can't be accountability in October, none in November, trying to get it back in December. And so that, again, is going to fall on me, coaching staff, and our entire staff, that how we go about our business on a daily basis, we can talk about a lot of things right now, but we got to live them every single day. And that's ultimately what's going to be the key determinant in terms of our success moving forward.
Hey, Scott, good to see you, brother.
Good to see you, Chris Haynes. He was a guest on our Hoop Genius podcast one time.
Wasn't
Exactly.
I wasn't in that episode with you.
With BJ and Mo Mootsie, my guys. Exactly.
Those my dudes. I wasn't on that episode with Zach, though. But
exactly. You going to clear yourself from that. Exactly.
Scott, I wanted to ask, you talked about ownership and the directive. I want to ask, what is there a number one focus that ownership wanted you to kind of come and clean up and fix up, right? Is there one thing in particular? And number two, I want to ask about your front office staff. Do you have a timeline on when you plan to finalize that?
First, like I said, the number one thing from ownership, Chris, again, and I said it earlier, it is to build this sustainable platform for sustainability of winning and success. That is the most important thing, and Vivek's pledged support to help me see that vision through. That is first and foremost. Secondly, to your question about the staff, right now I have no updates on that. I'm in the process right now, as people who are in this room right now, a number of them King employees. I'm meeting with every single person in the basketball operations department, and that's probably going to take me almost a couple weeks. But I'm doing that. I want to learn their stories, learn about them, and see who really fits us moving forward, who may have concerns with us moving forward. But that's, to me, that's the most prudent thing to do. That's the most respectful thing to do. Again, I've been around the league a long time, and I want to make sure that, my vision is clear about what I want to get done here, and we'll see. So it will be a slow evolving process, I think, in terms of staff additions, subtractions, but ready for that as well too. And just rest assured, any additions will be high level, capable people with character. Character is very important.
Hi, Scott. Matt George, ABC 10, right here.
Okay. Hey,
Good to
Matt,
see ya.
how you doing?
My question has to do with timelines specifically. Last season there was a bit of like a planned playoff mandate kind of on the organization and the position that they were in. Has it been expressed to you from Vivek, from ownership, about any kind of expectation of winning right away or giving you the time necessary to fix the ship?
The expectation is to build a sustainable winner, and do the things necessary to create an environment that will breed that. And that's the only mandate. And so I'm going to do what's best, what I see is best for that. Obviously, I'm someone who's wired to win. So again, we'll see what unfolds over the next coming months. But I'm going to do my very best to enhance what's here right now and see where it takes us.
Hello, Scott. I'm right here. My name's Kevin Gleason.
Hey,
I'm
Kevin.
on the Sacktown Sports Afternoon Show with this gentleman over here to my left, Kyle Draper.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. What's going on?
When you have so many decisions to make, coaching decision, many roster decisions, you talked about identity. When you have so many decisions to make and each one affects the other decisions, how do you know where to start? And when it comes to making those decisions, do you expect to have full autonomy going forward?
I asked my wife. No, seriously. Look, again, as a veteran of this thing, I have my North Star vision, if you will, and so I come in with that in mind. So I start putting things together with that, ultimate goal in line. So, and like anything else, when you have detailed plans, every now and then there's a hiccup, a change. Somebody may come into you and say that they don't want to be here any longer, whatever the case may be. But I'm always conscious of, and it's a great question, of one decision leading to maybe a multitude of other decisions. So when I do make one, I always try to think about what consequences they may present.
Hi, Scott. Mark Dembski, KPK, Sacramento's News Radio. In regards to the head coaching position, is there a timeline? Also, do you plan on meeting with maybe other candidates face-to-face? And what exactly are you looking for in the head coaching position?
Well, I'm going to answer the back part first. What I'm looking for in the coaching position is someone to carry through a number of things I've talked about here. Someone who is going to be committed to having a tough-minded, defensive-oriented, team that shares the basketball, a team that's disciplined, professional, accountable. So we've got to be aligned there. The coach has got to be aligned with that goal. And so, again, I'm going to take a few days here. I've got a lot of calls to answer. And then I'll figure it out from there. Again, you're looking at someone who probably has met the majority of guys who would be interested in this job. if so in terms of So I have a lot of institutional knowledge when it comes to what's out there in the coaching market. So again, I will inform you guys as soon as I come to that final decision. You know, whether I'm, hopefully it'll be in a week or so.
Hi, Scott. Michelle again, over here in the back. Just
That's
curious.
Oh, okay.
Right here.
All right.
With all this, just how closely are you going to be working with Vivek with all of these decisions? Has he given you full control to say, I'm going to hire the coach, I'm going to add these players to the roster, or do you plan to work with him?
Look, obviously Vivek owns the team, and I've worked with Vivek before, and I enjoy a very healthy and positive relationship with him. But make no mistake, he has empowered me to lead this team and make critical decisions. Now, will I talk to him often about different things in this team? Absolutely. It only makes sense. There's a saying that will be prevalent throughout my tenure here and within our office. I want diversity of thought, but with unity of purpose. And that's what we're going to be led by. And so that starts with my relationship with Vivek. What's that? Okay. Thank you so much. Look forward to working with everybody. Thank you so much for coming out.